The Commissioner then presented a summary of the 2014 budget highlights and discussed the state's capital expenditure projections for the year.
This is a summary of the 2014 budget major highlights. The overall budget size is 489.69 billion naira, which, as the Honorable Commissioner for Information and Strategy pointed out, represents a 3.43% reduction from our budget for 2013. This will be the first time in a long while that we have had a reduction in nominal terms of our budget from one year to the other. But then, as you will find also as you scroll down to the bottom of this page, you will see here that unlike 2013, when we projected a deficit of 79.8 billion naira, for 2014 we are not projecting any deficit spending. Our total revenues equal our total expenditures for this year. As the current administration begins to wind down, we and a need to begin also to focus on completing what we have started preparing to hand back to the incoming administration, and make sure this is all in line with our strategy on fiscal deficits and debt sustainability. You will recall that in 2013, towards the end of the year, we had to accelerate our bond issuance program, and so that's why we issued total bonds of 87.5 billion naira towards the end of last year. For 2014, we project no bond issuance. So these funds have come in and have been deployed to work. Total revenues for 2014 projected at 466 billion naira, and that is 50 billion naira more than our budget for 2013. Recurrent expenditure, however, stood 34 billion as compared to 214 billion budgeted for 2013, which is only a 20 billion naira growth. Therefore, the higher proportion of the growth in revenues we project this year is going to be deployed to capital expenditure. For 2014, the capital expenditure, the current expenditure mix will be 52-48%. In the past few years, we have had to borrow to supplement our capital expenditure. This year, we are not doing so. Out of the total revenues projected of 466 billion naira, 327.2 billion will come from what we call internally generated revenue sources. In addition, there's a 23.2 billion naira that is also generated from within the state. But these are expenditures that are generated for specific capital projects. For instance, capital contributions paid by allottees to our estates are only spent to develop infrastructure within those estates, and those are captured as capital receipts, but they technically represent part of our revenues generated within the state. Of the 466 billion projected revenues, 139 billion is projected to come from federal transfers, the statutory allocations, VATs, Shopee, and excess crude, whatever that comes from the federal transfers. 57% of our IGR will come from taxes. collected by the Lagos Internal Revenue Service. And that's a total of 266 billion for the whole year.
Who knows Abi better thing? Abi who no like better thing? All these fine things where they see so. Now money government they take do am now. Abi, I think it's like, excuse me, I dey pay my tax. I dey do it, I dey pay my tax. Say you don't pay your own tax. Have you pay your tax? I pay, oh.
Pay your tax. It's your civic responsibility. It's your duty. It's the law.